Terry and Big Steve, did you see Rory Jennings and Adam McCullough, their take on KDB? No. What did they say?
Someone sent me a clip. I got about 4 seconds into the clip and turned it off. So,
what did they say?
The less said about them two, the better.
Well, I want to know now. What they say, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I just heard some KDB slander. I just turned it off. So it was just, I don't know. Well, listen, anyone that takes anything that Rory Jennings says after what he said about Erling Haaland seriously, then you need your fucking head testing. That's all. Let's put it that way. So, we know what he's about. Him.
They said he doesn't turn up in big games.
Yeah, it's because he got injured in the Champions. Once he got headbutted off Rudiger and smashed his face in, so he had to go off. And he's pulled an hamstring. He's had a tweak and hurt himself. He can't run around with a torn hamstring. It's just not happening. But look at all the times he's dragged us to games. Look at Real Madrid at home. Look at last season, Wolves, when he scored 4 goals when we're going for the title. So it's just another way of having a bit of Man City slander, isn't it? But like you say, the Erling Haaland comment killed the guy. So how is he even talking on anything? I fuck knows.
It's a weird one for me. I haven't seen the clip for all intents and purposes. But I suppose, look, if you're going to say he hasn't turned up in Champions League finals, you've got a point. But he was the guy when you guys were losing and Madrid were all over you, away at the Santiago Bernabeu, stepped up, scored a screamer.
What about Arsenal? Emirates, Arsenal. Chips the goalkeeper. What about Emirates at Etihad, Arsenal, going for the title? Kevin De Bruyne has been one of the best midfielders in the world and one of the best midfielders Man City's ever had. So I'm not being funny, but, Rory Jennings and Adam McCullough talking about Kevin De Bruyne, it's like, keep that shit out of your mouth. It's just not for you two, that one.
Yeah, it's a strange one for me, to say the least. It really is. I actually saw another clip of Adam McCullough's today. I saw 2 things of one of Adam McCullough and one of Howson that I'd never seen before. The one of McCullough was McCullough having a go at Mark Goldbridge, saying that YouTubers now just say things for clicks and use fake names, and that made me laugh. I just thought I'd never seen that before. And then I saw one of Howson's, and maybe I have seen this one before actually, where he said that Woodward has been worse for Man United than the Munich air disaster.
That was bad. No, have you seen the worst one that he just did? The news thing. He's dressed up as a news reporter, Howson, with a shirt and tie on to do a news bulletin explaining Manchester City's charges. Now, I'm not being funny, but that guy, someone needs to check on him. Mental health, whatever. No, Manchester City's now ruining his life. I thought he'd lost the plot when he said, you might as well be Celtic. And then he said Pep Guardiola was going to get ridden all over the Premier League by Eddie Howe. And then he said that Man City will never be as big as Man United and all that nonsense. So everything he's come back to haunt him, and his way of dealing with it, instead of burying your head in the sand and thinking, you know what, I need to keep my mouth shut because I've been made to look a knob, he's done a news bulletin, like some out of Newsround. Remember Newsround when you was a kid on BBC CITV? It looked like Newsround, and it's the most embarrassing, cringy Man United effort of explaining something. Come on, lads. Come on. I know it hurts. It hurt us in '99 when we was in Division 2, but I didn't put a fucking shirt and tie on and do a news clip about it. I just got on with it because that's life. But mate, it's rattling. This treble is rattling some people to the core, like truly. In fact, I think you should set up if there's any trained counsellors out there that can speak to people that are suffering with Manchester City envy, we'll get a phone line set up and I'll throw a few quid in and I don't want these people to suffer anymore. We might as well get them help. You know what I mean? Man City envy, a chat line or something. You know what I mean? We'll help you out, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just probably old and boring. That's probably what it comes down to. I just see some of the banter and I'm just like, oh, they haven't really said that, have they? Mainly because, you know what I think it is? I don't think it's old and boring. I'm just somebody that doesn't like to tempt fate. And that's my problem with a lot of this. It's the more you can't, I feel like the way the world works, the more you tempt something, the more likely it is to happen. So your team goes 3-0 up after 30 minutes and you go, darn, it's finished with 1. It's easy. Against a good team, by the way. I think you're tempting fate of a comeback. I think you keep humble and keep your mouth shut until about the 90th minute. Then you start to celebrate. That's why I'll look at people's watch-alongs and half the time I think, are you really celebrating because you that or saying those things? Or are you saying it because it's a double-edged sword? if you say we're clear, we've arrived, we're outside, we're going to win now 3-0, and you do, you look a genius. If you say we've won the game already after going 2-0 up in 10 minutes, and then you don't, you kind of know you're going to be clipped, and therefore you get attention anyway. I feel like that must be what it is now. It's like, say something outrageous, because you either get it right and look good, or you get it wrong and you trend, and either way, it's seen as being successful in this space. Maybe that's what it is for. I'm not saying all these guys do it, but I just see it so consistently now. It's crazy. It's crazy.
No, listen, it's like they just got to accept it. It's happened. It's done. The sooner they accept it, get over it, turn around and say, yeah, they've won it. Fair play. We threw a load of charges. We threw a load of conditions out there. Ever since I've been a City fan, there's always been a condition. There's always been, my Man United mates have always had this. You can't be this until this. You can't do that until you've done that. There's always been that from Man United to throw at us. And everything they threw at us, we've gone and done. That's why I did my video about it the other day. And it's rattling the tits off them. Their heads are falling off. But at the end of the day, all they need to say is, you know what? Fair play, Man City. You won the treble. We've won the treble. Let's have a good shootout next season, see what can happen. Then it's fair. Then it's done. All this point scoring nonsense, all these internet solicitors. I tell you what, there's a lot of men and women out there relying on these 115 charges. I tell you what, and if Manchester City are proved innocent, there's nowhere for these men to go anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're going to do. They might have to go and like just give up football, go and watch like rugby or something, or because they're finished. Because that is it. They are relying on the Premier League to find something to help them feel better about Manchester City taking over the gaff. You know what I mean? And I think it's absolutely fucking brilliant. And I tell you what, they can relegate Man City if they want to Division 2, because I'm ready for that. Because I'm ready to go back to Division 2. I'm ready to start the journey again. And we'll go all the way back up to the top and we'll win the treble again. Because I've done it that way before. Nobody else has done that. None of these United fans, Liverpool, have been from Division 2 to Istanbul and won the treble. But I have. I've done it. I've been there with my own eyes. And all I'm in the chat that go, Big Steve, you're always telling us how you go week in, week out. Yeah, because I'm proud of it. You always want respect as foreign fans. You want me to respect you getting up at 2:30 in India and watching the teller, and I respect it. But respect Big Steve, who was at Yeovil away getting fucking levered and having Yeovil fans singing, "You're not famous anymore," respecting me to getting a treble tattoo on my leg on Saturday night with all my blue brothers and sisters in Istanbul when we just won the treble. Preach it.
I'm not going to lie. I do want you to be found guilty.
Everyone does.
Of course I do. Of course I want you to be found guilty because I want to be able to turn around and go, this meant nothing. At the same time, though, I'm not putting my eggs into that basket. I've already got my brain into a position where I can accept that you've won what you've won and it's real and legitimate. That way I can get on with my life, because otherwise, like, bitterness eats away at you. And I just don't do. People think I am bitter, but I can assure people I'm not. It's a crazy one. But in terms of people having outrageous takes, look, sometimes it's great and it's funny. Like, I do fan channel review once, twice a week. I love listening to it. But as I've always said, and this triggers some people, I don't take it overly. I don't take most of these people that I laugh at seriously. And what I mean by that is, I enjoy your content. I find it entertaining. It's not who I go to be informed. Does that make sense? Like, I don't go to watch it, go, oh, I'm going to learn something about football today. I go to watch it because I'm like, they're going to say something outrageous. They're going to say something crazy. It's going to be funny. I'm going to enjoy it. And that's how I kind of process it. But the bit where it's weird for me is when I see like professional pundits and writers kind of take these weird takes from YouTubers and kind of start to push it as a real narrative. And I'm like, yo, and Twitter's the worst place. Twitter's a cesspool because people actually run banter agendas like it's real. Like it's real. And like you're in a space and you challenge someone, you expect them to burst out laughing after saying it. And like, no, I'm really serious, Terry. I'm like, wow, the world's gone mad. Maradon here says, Terry, with United debates, you get very bitter. I don't get bitter at all. You're misinterpreting how I get. I stand my ground and say what I think is truthful, but I don't have any bitterness. If I had bitterness, you wouldn't see me consistently being polite, nice to rivals when I'm hosting shows. I do it. Fair enough, I have a contract with my partners that I have to not be rude and obnoxious about them, but there isn't any bitterness from me. And I know Steve feels that. Like, I could sit here and be the typical angry Man United fan because City have done a treble. Again, why behave like everybody else? Why be a sheep, Maradon? And this is my whole life. I don't like to conform per se anyway. And if every other Man United fan is making a video about 115 charges, I'm not going to follow suit, because why would you copy what every other man is doing? That for me is a weird way to behave. You know, never do it. Never conform. And everybody else is watching. I've got a friend. Me and him had a proper argument over this once. We were having drinks. He said, I'm going to start watching Love Island. I said, why? First of all, why? And he said, I get some people like trash TV. That's fine. He didn't say that. He went, because like I see everyone tweeting about it and talking about it, and I want to get involved in the conversation. And I just thought, you're 37 years, you sad little man. You all want to get involved. Like feeling that desperate and left out because another group of people are talking about a show you don't even watch. I couldn't believe my ears. Like, what is wrong with people in 2023? Like, go and touch some grass. It's a madness. It was a madness one for me. But yeah, don't follow trends, people. It's very, very boring indeed. Terry, the biggest copycat. Yeah, of course. You know, of course. Always get accused of that. Always get accused of it. When I bring the fan cam, when I bring back car cam, I'll get accused of stealing the idea from Mark Goldbridge, even though I started doing car cams in 2013. It will happen. It always happens. You know, it happened to me. Someone accused me last month of copying the United stand for doing like a fan forum style match reaction. Like, bruv, the Terrace has been doing that since before we were called the Football Terrace. We were called the Devil's Terrace. Back in 2014, we were doing them. I was like, how'd I copy anybody? I couldn't believe it. It always happens, but there we go, my friend. Yeah, but if it makes you sleep better at night, we copy everybody. The one thing I did copy, though, by the way, I did copy Rob Holding with a hair transplant. I'll admit to that one. Yes, I definitely did that.